This is the KUSI News at 11.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Lauren Finney.
It's a busy night. I'm Ross Becker. Thanks for joining us. And first of all, let's take a live look at the radar over San Diego. It has been a busy night, a wet one too, as you know. The storms keep moving in one after another. Some of you have already gotten some rain. Some are going to get it overnight and then more tomorrow. It is causing some street flooding already, some evacuations, and a flash flood warning for much of San Diego expired about 30 minutes ago. We are ready to cover it all tonight. Now, that radar echo will tell the story of our storm all night long. And KUSI meteorologist, as you can see, Mark Mathis, he's been watching it. He's standing by with the latest forecast for tonight and the morning commutes.
KUSI's John Soderman is out live tonight as well. He's been watching the rain and how it's affecting travel, both on the roads and in the air.
First of all, let's show you some of the flooding right away. When the rain came down, the water rose quickly. And this is in the Midway district. Of course, drivers always think they can make it through. Well, some of them didn't. There was at least one rescue in all of this, and several cars stalled in the deep water, had to be towed away. Fire crews, however, say nobody was hurt and nobody was taken to the hospital.
And in Hillcrest tonight, when the rain came down, it chased some people from their apartments. It's not clear how many apartments were affected, but here too, some of the cars parked along the street ended up underwater as well, and those people were evacuated. So that's the flooding issues we're seeing right now, but the rain was also making the roads very messy as well.
Yeah, that's what happens. KUSI's John Soderman's been out in the rain all night long. He is near Lindbergh Field right now. John, what's the situation?
Yeah, you know, everyone thought the big kahuna was going to be tomorrow morning, but no, surprise. Here now, your Thursday weather recap.
Leave your sprinklers off as Mother Nature turns on the spigot one more day on Friday. Isolated thunderstorms possible, too.
The weather forecast during the evening commute makes it sound like the heavy stuff's not going to hit until Friday morning. And while the commute itself is a total pain in the neck, little do motorists know that an 800-pound gorilla is about to unleash upon them. At about 8 o'clock, the skies open up, prompting a flight warning at Lindbergh Field because of lightning, causing some anxious moments for people flying in here. Where are you coming in from, Sue?
From the Boston area.
What was the flight like coming into Lindbergh Field here with the storm?
It was bumpy.
Yeah.
It was bumpy. Yeah, it wasn't as smooth as I would have liked it.
Were the pilots saying anything or not?
No, a few times they came over the loudspeaker and said, okay, seatbelts on, you know, you can't be up and around. They couldn't be passing out drinks, that kind of thing.
Big James, what was it like coming in during this storm?
Oh, a little turbulent. Didn't bother me too much because going into Boston during the wintertime is a lot more turbulent.
Pretty bad, big storm that passed through here. What was it like landing in that storm?
I was perfectly fine. It was a smooth landing. There was no problem at all.
Nobody seemed too concerned?
No. I mean, there are a lot of San Diego natives, and they were all commenting on the weather.
It was fine, a bit bumpy, but nothing to be concerned about.
Meantime, the situation on the ground turns deadly near the Verona Casino. One person is killed when their vehicle is T-boned. Firefighters and paramedics say it is raining heavily at the time of the wreck. Meantime, here in Sorrento Valley, at the corner of Sorrento Valley Road and Carmel Mountain Road, the forecast calls for some severe flooding on Friday morning because of a clogged drainage pipe, resulting in major headaches for the Corner House Cafe. Take a look at what happened the last time it rained here. Take a look at this photo. Call it a restaurant where a river runs through it. So you're not looking forward to tomorrow morning?
No. Or next week. I hear it's supposed to rain too, so.
Now, on the subject of tomorrow morning, San Diego Public Works has set up this hotline. If you see any flooding or down trees that need to be cleaned up, here's the number, 619-527-7500. Back here live, when I look up in the sky, I actually can just see one or two stars, but you can feel that maybe another storm is definitely moving in. At Lindbergh Field, John Soderman, KUSI News.
Oh, there'll be more, John, that's for sure. And the rain created a lot of trouble for one man in Oceanside. His car got stuck in the middle of the road, and the road, of course, was filled with rainwater and mud. Now, here is how he tells the story.
Yeah, well, there's water inside the car, and the water just kept coming up and up and up and up, and it finally got into the car. So, and then as the rain started to recede, the water went down, and we got, you know, this is what you have now. But the water if you can look at the door, you could see how high the water was up in that area. We don't get rain too often, so I thought maybe they'd have good drains and stuff. Apparently they don't. Well, they might have drains, but they can't take the capacity of that rain that came down.
Oh, don't get caught like that guy did. His car was towed back to his house, and of course the road was shut down for safety reasons.
Well, we know the rain is not over yet. It could get worse before it gets better. Let's check in with meteorologist Mark Mathis right now, who is tracking the storm as we speak. Mark?
Well, Lauren, you're exactly right. It does look like the heaviest precipitation will get here as we head into tomorrow morning, into the early afternoon tomorrow. But right now, we're seeing some pretty good showers just to the east of downtown San Diego, in and around Mission Valley, Fashion Valley, pushing into parts of Kearny Mesa, also in and around La Jolla and Del Mar, getting a little bit of rainfall, and Carlsbad, in between Carlsbad and Escondido. And I just heard we're getting some pretty good showers right now in the Kearny Mesa area. So more rainfall on the way. Rainfall totals, we're going to break a lot of May records. And all right, let's go ahead. Let's go to the live camera out here in Kearny. There it is right there. It is raining in Kearny Mesa this evening. So some heavy precipitation. And of course, it rained in 45 minutes, 1.5 inches at Lindbergh Field. So we'll set some all-time May records there at Lindbergh Field. More on the rain coming up in just a bit.
All right, Mark, thank you. Well, let's take a look at some of the things that are being affected by the rain tomorrow. The annual Bike to Work Day set for tomorrow was canceled because of the rain, of course. It's now rescheduled for May 29th. The storm is creating unsafe riding conditions, of course, during the morning and afternoon hours. Riders who bike to work anyway are asked to take special precautions and be aware that no pit stops will be made available. And tonight's Padres game was delayed in the first inning, but it is back underway at this hour, at least for a little while. KUSI's Brandy Williams has been at Petco Park all night in the rain. We will be checking in with her for a live update on the storm and the people caught in it coming up in about 8 minutes. But the Padres are up, so that's good.
Well, as we showed you, the rain is soaking streets and lawns right now, but this is not going to end our drought. So, San Diego County has some new rules on outdoor watering. The County Water Authority approved a resolution today limiting outdoor watering to no more than twice a week. Board members say there has to be a way to tell if people are following the rules.
What is being discussed is not only having the 2-day-a-week watering requirement, but having a consistent assigned watering days per week throughout the region.
And this is a good time to remind you, because of the rain, turn off your sprinklers for the next few days. We need to save everything we can.
1 year ago today, we really needed this rain. It's the anniversary of the Poinsettia wildfire. Now, this was the most destructive of the San Diego wildfires last May. It caused more than $20 million in damage, and it also is responsible for the only death reported during the fires. CAL FIRE Captain Kendall Borteaser says firefighters are now getting ready for another fire season.
When you're battling an element like the Santa Ana winds, I mean, there's nothing that's going to stop those. So the most important thing is that property owners are prepared, and they anticipate that in the event those winds come in, that their property is in a fire-safe condition. And defensible space, we've seen it time and time again where it works.
And here are some of the facts from last year's wildfires. About 20 wildfires burned through San Diego County between May 5th and the 22nd. The estimated cost of the fires is at least $60 million, and the fire burned more than 29,000 acres. 6 people were injured, and at least 1 death is connected to the fires.
And within the last half hour, we are getting word that another music giant is dead. Blues legend B.B. King passed away at his home in Las Vegas. He was 89 years old. He was a singer, a songwriter, and a guitarist. In fact, Rolling Stone magazine ranked B.B. King number 6 on the list of the top 100 greatest guitar players of all time. His music inspired scores of blues and rock and roll artists for decades. Again, music legend B.B. King dead at the age of 89. Well, the death toll from the Amtrak passenger train crash in Philadelphia is now 8. Investigators say the train was traveling 106 miles an hour just prior to the derailment, which is more than twice the speed limit on that curve where it jumped the tracks. 32-year-old Brandon Bastian, who was at the train's controls, survived, and he is talking with authorities. But his attorney says so far the engineer remembers nothing of the crash. Federal officials say they will analyze everything.
We will be looking at the mechanical condition of the train. We'll be looking at the track and the signal system as well. So we are looking at the human. We are looking at the machine.
Amtrak CEO says positive train control technology, which can automatically slow or stop a train, will be installed from Boston to Washington by the end of the year. He also says it would have prevented this accident.
KUSI reached out to Amtrak officials here in California. There's a passenger line running on a regular schedule from San Diego to points north. The majority of injuries in a train crash are things like broken bones, concussions, and other head injuries caused by passengers being thrown around the railway cars. Right now, there are no shoulder restraints or seat belts for passengers on Amtrak trains. We wanted to ask Amtrak about whether there has been a discussion about adding seatbelts or other restraints for passengers. We were told there is no one that can talk about that. However, Amtrak board member Robert Sumwalt is quoted as saying, "We thought it an idea to look into seatbelts, but we are not sure they will work." Now, our research shows that railroad passenger deaths are up 20% over the last 3 years.
There is still no sign of the Camp Pendleton-based Marine helicopter that disappeared after Tuesday's second earthquake in Nepal. 8 people were on board, including 6 U.S. Marines and 2 Nepalese soldiers. The helo vanished while trying to deliver aid to earthquake victims in remote mountain areas. Several Marine aircraft, hundreds of American, Nepalese, and Indian ground units are taking part in the search for that helo.
A bill that would make vaccines mandatory for nearly every child in California passed the state Senate today. It's on a fast track now. The bill was approved 25-10. The measure would stop parents from getting vaccine exemptions for their children because of religious or personal beliefs. It would also make medical waivers available only to children with health problems. Other unvaccinated children would have to be homeschooled. Opponents of the bill say it takes away parental rights. The measure now goes to the Assembly.
A major network anchorman is apologizing for breaking the ethics rules of journalism. It's George Stephanopoulos of ABC. He used to work for Bill Clinton when Clinton was president, and that's okay. But when he took the job as a journalist, well, there's a code of ethics we all agree to. Act independently, avoid conflicts of interest, and be transparent. Well, Stephanopoulos now admits donating $75,000 to Bill and Hillary Clinton's controversial foundation. And most importantly, he conducted interviews with both of them since then and never disclosed his support for them and their causes. So now Stephanopoulos is apologizing. The ABC network says it will not discipline him for this ethics breach, calling it, quote, just an honest mistake.
Well, when we come back here tonight at 11, the story of some rescued rabbits, how their lives were saved, and how tonight we will show you how they're going to find homes.
Plus, we're going to check in with Brandy Williams live tonight at Petco Park. Brandy?
Hi, guys. The rain isn't slowing down the Padres, but it did slow down the game. I'll tell you about the 2-hour rain delay that happened earlier. Stay with us. We'll be right back.